Hello and welcome to the National League Rugby Review Show here from Brantington Park, the home of Hull Ionians. Well, it might have been Super Saturday in the Six Nations and a reduced fixture list in National League Rugby, but there are still plenty of storylines and narratives to get stuck into across levels 3 and 4, and none more so than here in Yorkshire, with Hull Ionians entertaining Sedgley Park in National 2 North. Tabletoppers Sedge saw their 20-match unbeaten run come to a halt last Saturday, as they were left shell-shocked by Tynedale up in the northeast. The first defeat of the season for Scott Barrow's men means they began this afternoon 7 points clear of fellow promotion challengers Fylde, with just 5 games to go in their respective campaigns. With Fylde not in action this weekend, Sedge could stretch their advantage going into round 23, but that is easier said than done against third-placed Hull Ionians. Graham Stedman's boys were in the title conversation when this fixture was originally scheduled back in January, but have fallen away, so the Eyes will be hoping to end this season strongly. They have also lost just once at Brantington Park in 15 months, so could Sedge come away with a rare victory? So it will be Sedgley Park to get us underway here at Brantington Park. Can the league leaders respond after last week's loss to Tynedale? It's been a bright start here from Hull Ionians. Now Lewis Minnikin from the tee. Oh, come off the post, but it does give the host the lead. It's Tansey into Collins. Collins got Birdle to his left-hand side, doesn't use him though, and here goes the Sedgley Park fly-off. He's got Birdle still with him, but finds his half-back partner. Tansey combines well with Collins again, who's heading towards the right corner. He's hauled down. Some desperate defending from Hull Ionians. This is Sedge's first real bit of intent in this contest here at Brantington Park. Birdle goes. Now it's Tansey's turn. Sedge looking to get the first try of the afternoon. Bob Birtwell's on the back of this ruck. Birtwell over the top of the pile of bodies and scores brilliantly. And it's Collins again who's the receiver from Tansey, the Sedge fly half, at the heart of everything going well for the tabletoppers at the moment. Into Matt Riley. Riley into Ollie Glass, through the hands, and Andy Riley over in the corner. Sedge have just sparked into life here at Brantington Park after a slow start. They're now 2 tries to the good, and Collins converts. After that period of pressure at the start of the game for Hull Ionians, they can get themselves back on the board, and Minnikin does add another penalty. Collins now to respond straight away. Minnikin on the stroke of half time to keep Hull Ionians in touch here. And now Tansey takes it quickly from the back of the ruck, and the live wire scrum half has been at it all afternoon. This time he stopped in his tracks. Andy Riley's over the ball, just about gets it away into Matt Riley. Over to Mallinson. Mallinson's got Sareki if he needs him, and Sareki goes over. And now Sedge looking for that bonus point score. Here's Steve Collins. Collins breaks the tackle well. He's having a fine game. It's the Sedgley Park fly half. Now the ball finds its way to Matt Riley. And Riley chucked it up. And Riley dots it down for the bonus point score. Massive fist pump from DOR Scott Barrow. And it's converted too. Salella now standing in at scrum half after James Thompson went off with an injury in the first half. The ball's found its way to Jez Obo. And Jez Obo on his debut over. What a story for the 17-year-old. That Obo try about 5 minutes or so ago to make things a little bit interesting, but Collins takes the 3 for Sedge. It's absolutely bouncing down here in Yorkshire. Maybe the pitches will tell you just how heavy this rain is, but this is a heavy drive from Hull Ionians, who are looking for their second try of the afternoon. They're rumbling forward now. Are they over? They are over, but the day is still Sedgley Park's.
Yeah, I think it's one that we needed to win. Obviously losing last week at Tynedale and drawing at Fylde, I wouldn't say we lost our way, but you know, we just needed to get back on the track and pick up a win, and it's not an easy. It's one of the toughest places in the league to come. You know, they're a tough physical side at Hull Ionians, and absolutely made up with that. The effort, commitment. You know, we had Tuesday night off. We turned up Thursday rested and refreshed and ready for this, and we delivered. Yeah, we never ever get far ahead of the next game. You can't look past. We got Huddersfield at home next week. It's a charity day for us. It's another big game. They've been going well. You know, they didn't start the season too well, but they've built up a bit of momentum, and that's all we can do is just try and get 5 points next week, and until it's mathematically impossible for Fylde to catch us, we'll be doing no celebrating.
I think we've got to be proud in defeat. I mean, we ended up with 3 or 4 forwards in the back line, team thrown together, and I think credit to us, Sedgley are taking 3 points towards the end just to close the game out. I think the difference between the 2 teams was they took their chances when they came up. We had a lot of pressure in the first half and didn't make it pay for points, and ultimately that cost us a game. But heads held high, pushed them all the way. Some young lads, to their credit, stepped up, scored tries, making tackles, and that's what Ionians is all about. Build a future on that. and there's plenty to build on the rest of this season into next season.
12 more games to wrap up now, and as always, we start in National 1, and 11 miles up the road, Hull hosted a Birmingham Moseley side that were keen to start moving away from danger.
After a string of narrow defeats, Birmingham Moseley were keen to fall on the right side of the result when they travelled to Hull. Adam Balding's men had lost their last 3 matches by an average margin of just 2 points, but surely this trend wouldn't continue, as tries from Ethan Priest, Rob Knox, Ryan Roach and Sam Poynton gave the Midlands club a 29-3 lead after just 33 minutes. But negative thoughts may have started to creep into Moseley minds when Hull's Lawrence Cohen went over either side of the break to cut the deficit. However, with the bonus point already in the bag, 2 second-half penalties from Dan Lewis secured a much-needed win for the visitors. Following back-to-back successes against Cinderford and Esher, Chinner look as though they've put a challenging February behind them, and on Saturday, Nick Easter's men made it 3 in a row for March. Visiting Kingsley Road, where relegation threatened Leeds Tykes, but there was no warm welcome from their hosts as Rhys Marshall and Will Blakemore went over inside 8 minutes. The home side led 21-0 at the break, and after John Okafor and Tom Price had swapped scores, Matt Burke and Charlie Venables gave the Tykes some hope as their tries reduced the lead to 11 points. But Willie Ryan's effort and a second for Jason Worrell clinched another maximum for the Black and Whites. There were just 2 games in National 1 this weekend, with both scorelines impacting the relegation battle in the 3rd tier. It means there were obviously no changes in the top half of the table, with this thrilling title race between Rams, Sale FC and Cambridge set to resume next Saturday. Chinner's 3rd bonus point win on the Spins lifted them to 8th, and they're now 12 points clear of the bottom 3, while a 5th straight loss for Leeds Tykes leaves them 14 points from safety with 5 matches to go in their campaign. Birmingham Moseley's victory against already relegated Hull means they're now 7 points above the drop zone with the game in hand.
Back to National 2 North now, and back here in Yorkshire, as 4th placed Otley, who are looking to hunt down Hull Ionians, travelled to Sheffield Tigers. With Hull Ionians falling to just their 2nd home defeat of the season, could Otley move back into the top 3 of National 2 North? The answer for Otley would unfortunately be no, as a flurry of yellow cards against Sheffield Tigers saw them fall to back-to-back losses. After trailing 14-3 following scores from Centurion Greg Mellor and Will Archer, Otley had 3 players sent to the sin bin. Sheffield Tigers duly took advantage of the extra numbers, but to Otley's credit, they did respond through Callum Irvine and Ryan Gibson, but another yellow card didn't help their cause. After last week's loss to Preston Grasshoppers, you felt Harrogate needed to continue their strong recent home form against Huddersfield to keep their hopes alive of avoiding relegation. And the game was in the balance as the clock ticked towards half-time, with locks Edward Brown and Sam Brady swapping scores, but Ethan Misey's try shortly after the break made it 15-5 to Field. However, Tom Baxter's effort cut the deficit to just 3 points, but the boot of Will Milner proved to be the difference as Huddersfield denied their Yorkshire counterparts any points. 3 of the top 4 sides in National 2 North were involved on this reduced weekend of fixtures, while the picture at the bottom was also affected by Harrogate's result with Huddersfield. A return to winning ways for Sedgley Park means they are now 12 points clear of title rivals Fylde, but a 2nd place side do have a game in hand to come on April 29th against Huddersfield. At the foot of the table, back-to-back defeats for Harrogate leaves their chances of staying in the division hanging by a thread, and they could be relegated this coming weekend if results don't go their way. The main bulk of this weekend's fixtures took place in National 2 East, and promotion favourites Blackheath were looking to take another step towards the title but faced a tricky away trip to an informed Bury St Edmunds.
Heading into the weekend, league leaders Blackheath knew they had to play the rest of the top 5 sides in the division between now and the end of April. But overcoming 4th place Bury St Edmunds would leave them on the cusp of the title, and they get off to the perfect start in Suffolk. Andrew Denham and Jake Hennessy both went over for the table toppers, and 2 penalties from Tom Fitch gave them an 18-0 lead. The hosts, who had won 8 of their last 9 games before this one, did respond through Kieran Leeson and Charlie Reid, but James Shanahan's side had done enough in the first period to leave them on the brink. Our focus now turns to the relegation battle with North Walsham visiting Henley Hawks. The Vikings began the day in the bottom 2, but got off to a dream start with Jordan Mustard, Ryan Oakes and Ethan Homewood all going over to secure the bonus point. After 28 minutes, Henley were 26-7 down, but the Hawks finally had liftoff when Ewan Fenley and George Wood both scored. The hosts then turned this gripping contest on its head as Oliver Frostick, Fenley and Adam Hakimayan scored in a 9-minute window to make it 42-33. But North Walsham's efforts would be rewarded as Dan Smith's late try saw them collect another bonus point to bolster their survival bid. Having settled for a draw against Rochford 100 last time out, Old Albanian returned to winning ways against already relegated Westcliff. The hosts ran in 12 tries to continue their strong home form, with Toby Ponsford, Ben Charnock, Toby Evans and Jared Sage going over inside 16 minutes. A young and spirited Westcliff side scored on 5 occasions in this contest, with Greg Bannister securing just their 5th point of the season with the bonus point try. However, OAs were able to add further scores via Elliot McFun and Seb Mummery to complete a solid afternoon's work. With North Walsham once again picking up points, the pressure was on Rochford 100 to try to follow suit when they entertained Dorking. And just after half-time, the contest was very much in the balance, as early scores from Dorking's Dan Ritchies and Toby McRae were matched by Rob Gardner and Sam Caphart. 3 tries in the second period for the visitors, though, proved the difference, as George Jackson, Will Scholes and Henry Smith all crossed. But Rochford 100 were able to scoop up another precious try bonus point as Chris Shields went over 1 minute from time. With their relegation rivals both securing points in defeat, could Sevenoaks do the same when they faced Barnes? It looked like it would be possible when the visitors were shown a red card, but Barnes led 14-7 at the interval, thanks to scores from Ryan Nixon and Connor Cross. The away side are one of the form clubs in the division right now, and despite being a man short, they highlighted their quality as Giles Bromley Martin and Paul O'Dell stretched their lead. Aidan Higgins and Scott Sedgwick did touchdown for Sevenoaks, but they ended the afternoon empty-handed. With 5 games in National 2 East, this division saw most of the action this weekend and certainly delivered some good entertainment. Blackheath's excellent win at Bury St Edmunds means a bonus point success against Westcliff this coming Saturday will see them gain promotion back to National 1. Barnes' 5th straight win has lifted them into 2nd, while Dorking are back in the top 4. In terms of the relegation fight, it still remains extremely tight, with North Walsham now 1 point behind Rochford 100, while Sevenoaks are just 5 points above the dreaded dotted line.
And finally, we finish with 3 games in National 2 West. And we start with Luchtonians, who were searching for a 6th win on the spin when they took on Old Redcliffians. Luchtonians and Old Redcliffians have been going well of late, and this meeting at Scotland Road highlighted exactly why. A superb first half hat-trick from Bentley Helpin helped Old Reds into a 28 half-time lead, but Luchtonians were first on the board after the break through Tom Jones and made things all square when Seb Robinson Hall scored try number 3. Sam Rees and Aidan Cheshire then exchanged scores to make it 25-all, but stand-in kicker Dominic Sprague would be the hero as he held his nerve to slot a late penalty. After their win over Stourbridge last month, Newport director of rugby Bob Adams mentioned their home form would be key if his side were to start moving away from danger. They entered this meeting with Redruth having won the last 3 games at Forton Road and got off to a flyer to lead 24-7. Injury hit Redruth did respond with 3 tries after the break via Ed Pascoe, Richard Brown and Bailey Williams, but scores from Josiah Racchio and Chris Taylor made sure there were more home comforts for Newport. Both Hinckley and Loughborough students were involved in dramatic matches last weekend, and this Midlands derby also delivered on the entertainment front. A brace from Oscar Daniel helped the students into an 11-0 lead, but Dale Bowyer and Shane Nixon provided the response for Chris Campbell's side. As the game moved to 28-21 to Loughborough, a penalty try on 75 minutes for Hinckley levelled things up. And after snatching the victory for Loughborough last week from the tee, Smith couldn't do the same at Leicester Road, as both sides shared the spoils. Just the 3 games in National 2 West then, before the running truly starts to intensify between now and the end of April. Hinckley Strawberry Loughborough keeps them in the top 4, but all eyes will be on the league leaders Leicester Lions, who can clinch promotion with a win against the students this coming weekend. Down at the bottom, Newport's latest success on their own patch leaves them 16 points clear of the relegation places, meaning another season in level 4 is now within touching distance. Well, that's it here from Hull Ionians, and after last week's loss to Tynedale, Sedgley Park bounced back at Brantington Park to stay in control of the National 2 North title race. We'll see you next week.